She says she is pro-life. I don't think mentally I would be okay if I were to get pregnant again. Wow. All over the country in Republican held states, there is an effort to roll back as many abortion rights as they possibly can under the purview of their state legislatures, right? And because of this, it's having a lot of consequences. Now, when whenever you roll back like something like abortion rights, that is inevitably going to lead to, just checking to make sure the water is still good. That is inevitably going to lead to, I think, a anxiety in a lot of people and an inability for people to properly plan for families, right? Also, it really restricts, the ability for doctors to perform proper healthcare for people when they need it, if they think that there is the possibility that they get clapped up because it's interpreted that they performed an abortion when they weren't supposed to. There's a lot of things that are going to kind of mess with the relationship of pregnant people to their doctors and the law. So let's take a look. I saw this on, I think this is NPR. Yeah, on NPR. Just a story of the consequences of the rollback of Roe v. Wade. So, husband's dread during an abortion ordeal in Oklahoma. Before February, Jackie Staten was particularly focused on Oklahoma's abortion bans. Quote, I was like, well, that's not going to affect me. I won't ever need one, she says. She's 25 and lives in central Oklahoma with her husband, Dustin, and their 3 kids, 2 7-year-olds and an 8-year-old. They are a blended family with 2 kids from Jackie's previous marriage and 1 from Dustin's. And I have 2 dogs. I gotta throw that in there too. She's a stay-at-home mom, and Dustin is an oil field technician. They also have a fishing guide business. She says she and her family go fishing every day. That's nice. 6 weeks, picking out baby names. Jackie and Dustin were using birth control, but took an if it happens attitude towards pregnancy, she says. Then, in mid-February, she started to feel really sick, nauseous and dizzy and weak. The first few pregnancy tests came back negatives, but after several trips to the hospital, a blood test confirmed it. She was pregnant. We got excited, picked out baby names, bought baby stuff, she says. 8 weeks. Jackie Staten was in her kitchen weeks later on February 28th when she felt like she was going to faint. Quote, I just looked down and there is blood everywhere, she says. My husband grabbed the kids, grabbed me, went to the emergency room. The hospital staff did her blood work several times and told her the results were confusing. They said she was probably having a miscarriage and that she should follow up with her doctor. She soon learned her situation was even more complicated at an appointment with her OBGYN the next day. She was told she actually had a partial molar pregnancy. Jackie says her doctor told her it is non-viable. It is potentially cancerous. I have no fucking clue what that is. A molar pregnancy results from problems that occur when sperm fertilize an egg. In a typical pregnancy, a placenta forms to nourish the growing embryo. A placenta doesn't form normally in molar pregnancies. Most people receive treatment and go on to have healthy future pregnancies. Okay, so let's see. Normal pregnancy. Okay. Makes sense. Molar pregnancy, fluid-filled cysts and tumors. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that is really different. Okay, yeah, that's not good. That doesn't seem good. On the ultrasound, the doctor showed Jackie how the pregnancy tissue was bean shaped and surrounded with cysts. One of them had ruptured, causing me to bleed, and she explained if more ruptured, you could bleed out. Jesus. Cancer risk. Partial molar pregnancies happen when something. When something goes wrong during fertilization, either 2 sperm fertilize the same egg or an egg is fertilized by 1 sperm and then later sperm that later duplicates. A non-viable embryo with too much genetic material develops along with abnormal placental tissue. In a complete molar pregnancy, there's no embryo at all, only abdominal placental tissue. With both types, there is a risk of heavy bleeding infection, and a life-threatening condition called preeclampsia that can lead to organ failure. There's also a risk that cancer will develop. In Jackie's case, there was a problem. The treatment is a dilation and curettage, or DNC, an abortion procedure that clears pregnancy tissue out of the uterus. Even though Jackie's pregnancy was not viable and the embryo would never develop into a full-term infant, there was cardiac activity. Jackie's doctor said she couldn't treat Jackie at the Catholic hospital where she works. Ah, so lovely. This is also why. So this is why also cardiac activity isn't really a good, a good threshold, I think, for whether we start to count like the life of a bunch of cells in a developing person. Quite frankly, the fact that there is cardiac activity, that there is the muscle that pumps blood around, it's not really, I think, that significant to a degree. Mainly because the heart. See, I feel like it comes from people thinking, oh, the heart, it's it's heart, it's the heart of the human and all that stuff, and we get really in our feels about that. But let's be clear, people. On a biological level, the heart is a fucking muscle. That's it. That's all it is. It's a necessary and very central muscle in your body, but that's it. People get heart replacements. I believe you can get like artificial hearts. Like you can get like pumping thing. Yeah, like so not actually that, in my opinion at least, not really that special. Having a heart is not, I think, the where we should be drawing the line. Or even having just cardial. Is that what they said earlier? Cardial. Is that the word they use? Yeah, cardiac activity. Sorry. So it was cardiac. Okay. But anyway, yeah. Jackie was transferred to the University of Oklahoma Medical Center. Doctors there confirmed the partial molar pregnancy diagnosis and were ready to do a DNC. But Jackie says an ultrasound tech from the emergency department objected because he detected fetal cardiac activity. The DNC didn't happen. Instead, she was transferred yet again, this time to Oklahoma Children's Hospital. Jackie says through all of this, sometimes it was hard for her to follow what was happening. She was so sick and weak. Quote, at this point, I had not eaten in about 3 weeks. That's a long time. She says due to terrible nausea she was having. With molar pregnancies, patients have extremely high levels of the pregnancy hormones HCG, which can cause debilitating nausea. Jackie's levels were at 1.400,000, much higher than the level during a normal pregnancy at that stage. Quote, whenever I could eat, I would eat 2 or 3 bites and pray it would stay down. And most of the time, it wouldn't. Wait in the parking lot. At Oklahoma Children's Hospital, she says the medical staff told her that her condition was serious. You at the most will last maybe 2 weeks, she remembers them telling her. But still, cardiac activity was detectable, and the doctors would not provide a D&C. So keep in mind, because this woman is going through this, and there will be others that go through similar situations because of things like fetal heartbeat bills. Because once there's cardiac activity, certain lawmakers have decided that no, you can't do anything. You have to let it go. You're not allowed to stop it from that point on. We've decided at an arbitrary point, which is cardiac activity, that you cannot do anything now. And now this woman might not even survive this non-pregnancy because the baby can't, it's non-viable. So what? 2 people get to die now because what? Because some people have a belief that hearts are what? Fucking are the key to the soul. Like, no, it's fucking stupid. Quote, they were very sincere. They weren't trying to be mean. They said, let's see, the best we can tell you to do is sit in the parking lot, and if anything else happens, we will be ready to help you, but we cannot touch you unless you are crashing in front of us, or your blood pressure goes so high that you are fixing to have a heart attack. Lovely. And keep in mind, now one might also wonder, okay, they're in Oklahoma. Could she like drive to a blue state where there's freedom and actual, concern for life? Yes. But here's the problem with that. You run the risk of, in that travel time, this, this person, Jackie, just dying on the way. Like, you can't go far from the hospital because you don't know when that something or that heart attack ends up happening. You're pretty much gambling that, oh, okay, we got to travel like a couple miles, maybe hundreds of miles to like the next state to get to a hospital that's, that'll actually treat me for my life-threatening medical condition. And that's assuming that you don't live around a bunch of fucking red states that are all living in like the fucking 1700s. Let's see. At the hospital, Dustin was beside himself. Jackie says he requested a meeting with the hospital ethics board. She says, but was refused. Quote, I've never seen him just come apart and cry. He had his head in his hands. This huge 6-foot guy. He was like, I'm going to lose you. I'm going to lose our baby, and I'm going to lose my other 2 kids. The children from Jackie's previous marriage. He's like, I'll lose everything. I'll lose my family. She remembers him saying. Jackie and Dustin are, and keep in mind, these people are probably not. I mean, maybe they're pro-choice, but do you think that they're you think even if they're pro-life, they'd be okay with this entire situation? Fuck no. This is ridiculous. Jackie and Jackie and Dustin was also trying to argue with the hospital that the family shouldn't be sent home because they live an hour away from the hospital and might not be able to make it back in time in an emergency. Yeah, there's also that. Oklahoma University Health, which runs both the University of Oklahoma Medical Center and Oklahoma Children's Hospital, did not respond to NPR's questions about the hospital's policies on abortions for life-threatening conditions. The institution did not confirm or deny specific questions about whether doctors told Jackie she would need to be in more danger of imminent death before intervention, or if an ultrasound technician's objections changed the course of her treatment. In a written statement, spokesperson David McCollum said, Oklahoma University Health remains committed to providing the highest, fuck you, I'm not even going to read it, 9 weeks, the long drive to Wichita. The days wore on. Jackie says by March 8th, one doctor at the hospital began to talk about the need for her to travel out of state in Kansas, Colorado, or to Kansas, Colorado, or New Mexico. Someone connected to the family to Trust Women, which runs a reproductive health clinic in Wichita, and she was able to get in for an appointment 2 days later on Friday, March the 10th. She drove there with her husband and mother-in-law, hoping she wouldn't bleed on the drive. It was probably the longest 3 hours of my life in that vehicle. At the clinic, after being in so many hospitals, her veins were difficult and painful to access. There was a lady in there, and she came over and just held my hand while they were trying to find a vein for the IV because it hurt so bad. Yeah, I can imagine. They took me back to the procedure room. I sat in there by myself. I think that was the first time that I had cried. Finally, all the emotions, all my thoughts caught up with me right there. And I sat in there by myself and just cried and cried. When the doctors and nurses came in, they sat with her, held her hand, and assured her that the D and C was her only option. I knew that, but they made me feel comfortable. I'm really appreciative of all that. The physician who treated her that day was Dr. Shelley Tyne. We'll go with Tyne. Shelley Tyne. Quote, I remember that she is a lovely, sweet patient with great sadness because this was a desired pregnancy. She was navigating the loss of a very much wanted child, the complexities of a rather rare medical diagnosis, and then also the insult of not being able to be cared for by her own physician in her own home and familiar surroundings. Jackie was put under general anesthesia for the DNC procedure. She also had an intrauterine birth control device placed, since it's very dangerous to get pregnant in the months after a molar pregnancy. After the staff made sure she was stable enough to leave, she went back out to the car where Dustin and her mother-in-law were waiting. As they drove Past the front, they covered Jackie's face with a blanket so she wouldn't see or hear the anti-abortion protesters. Quote, my husband still has nightmares about it. Jesus Christ. You know, it's really fitting that this woman goes through this entire fucking terrifying episode. And on her exit, after finally getting through this, she gets to fucking drive past under a face under a blanket to keep her hidden from fucking anti-abortion dipshits. Love it. I just fucking love it. Damn, dude. Confusion remains even after state Supreme Court rules. Most states that ban abortion have exceptions for medical emergencies or the life of the mother. But in the months since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, there have been many examples of cases where doctors weren't sure how to apply those exceptions. Yeah, they're really broad, and like any hospital and any doctor is going to want to err on the side of caution, which is going to be we just won't do it because the alternative is somebody comes after them and proves that it wasn't necessary, or even that they did it that there wasn't any like strong proof or whatever that the woman's life was in danger imminently, and then that entire hospital gets shut down, that doctor gets gets their license revoked or something. Like, a lot of things can happen to you and you'll be denying thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people healthcare, all because one patient. Essentially, what the Supreme Court did, in a way, is allow states to set up their own little trolley problem for every hospital and every doctor who would otherwise perform an abortion as necessary. To now they have to be juggling, do I help this one person, or do I risk not being able to help thousands afterwards? So you gotta love that. You gotta love that. In Oklahoma, the legal picture is especially confusing. Governor Kevin Stitt pledged to sign, quote, every piece of pro-life legislation that came across my desk. Love that. He has kept that promise, and there are currently 3 overlapping abortion bans, each with different and sometimes contradictory definitions and exceptions. One of the bans comes with criminal penalties, including felony charges, and up to 5 years in prison for anybody who administers, prescribes, or advises a woman on an abortion. So the stakes for interpreting the laws correctly are high for doctors and hospitals. Love that. Love that. Advice. Imagine for a moment that like a doctor, a licensed physician, is not allowed to advise you to seek specific, long-standing medical care. That's actually fucking insane. It's like if you got like sick and they told you, and like there was a law that like you are not allowed to tell them to take NyQuil ever, even though there's never been anything proved to be wrong with taking NyQuil under the right amount of dosages, under the right doses, I'd say. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These people are fucking demons, quite frankly. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond, what a fucking name, said he believes doctors can use abortion to protect a pregnant person's health, and his office said that doctors should have, quote, substantial leeway as they make these decisions, the Oklahoman reported. Additionally, at least 15 bills directly related to abortion, some that would have clarified the exceptions, did not advance ahead of the Oklahoma's legislature's deadlines, according to the Oklahoman. It can be hard for physicians to keep track of it all, says Dr. Danazone. Oh, keep in mind, this is also why they keep passing a bunch of things. Because, they'll pass all of it. It will get challenged in the courts. But in the meantime, doctors won't be able to do anything. They'll pretty much be sitting, waiting to find out where the boundaries are in terms of what they can actually offer for healthcare. An OBGYN in Oklahoma City who was not involved in Jackie Statton's care since new laws that regulate abortion are being introduced, Ruston passed by the Oklahoma State Legislature all the time. Wait. It can be hard for physicians to keep track of it all, says Dr. Dana Stone, an OBGYN in Oklahoma who was not involved in Jackie's sentence. Since new laws that regulate abortion are being introduced and passed by the Oklahoma State Legislature all the time. Physicians in the state also have to navigate laws that allow people to bring civil charges against doctors for, quote, aiding and abetting abortion, which can make it hard to know what doctors can say about abortion in the exam room. It really keeps us from giving full information to our patients. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's fucking lovely. You go in, you think that you might be pregnant. Somebody could literally get pregnant, go into, a doctor's office, tell the doctor, hey, I'm having second thoughts about the pregnancy, blah, 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 blah. They tell them, well, we can't do it here, but there are other states, there are other hospitals that could, that could help you with the process of abortion. And then that person can immediately report them. And then bam. Then what? Doctors get arrested or something? I'm not sure what it doesn't say here what the penalty is, but that's how easy it could be. You're a doctor. You're simply giving the advice you've been trained to give. And just like that, somebody just fucking, like entrapped you into like breaking the law of proper medical advice. It's amazing. An iconic duo, truly. One big issue has been how to understand the exception for when someone's life is in danger. The Oklahoma Supreme Court in late March struck down a law that required a patient's life to be in danger and for there to be a medical emergency, bringing the number of abortion bans down from 4 bans to 3. Jackie Statton's situation happened 2 weeks before that decision. Also, keep in mind, you don't know when a patient's life is in danger until it's in danger, which is to say, like, they'll say like, oh, how do you know it was life-threatening? They seem to survive, so obviously it wasn't life-threatening. It's so fucking stupid. Like they've set it up to make it so that doctors can't make reasonable medical prescriptions, basically, and then just arrest them for it. Or, because what is that? I think one of them came with a fine and the other one came with the 5 years in prison or some shit. Like, it's fucking nuts. The court said in its ruling, you can't force doctors to wait until a patient is crashing or going into sepsis to provide care, explains Rabia Mac. Oh, wait. Patient's life in danger if they're medical emergency. Oh, yeah. Explains Rabin Macquadam. Man, what are people's names these days? A senior attorney with the Center of Reproductive Rights, which brought the court challenge. The problem, she says, is that the same, quote, emergency exception language is in two other Oklahoma abortion bans that were not struck down by the state's high court. While those other 2 bans remain in effect, the decision doesn't have a practical impact, she says, in terms of allowing doctors to intervene earlier. Providing abortions when someone's life is in danger, but they are not yet in crisis. What happened to Jackie could be happening right now to other patients. Absolutely. Dark Brand reminds me of the Pokemon. Go to the polls. Left camp meme. Oh, here, you want it? Here. Oh, I wonder if this works. I just downloaded this. I just installed this too. I wonder, is this equalizing person still here? I hope they're here so they can hear this. Are you still here? Speak up if you... Nah, they left. Fine, I'll fucking do it anyway. Will it work?
I'm going to be fine with your jokes, but I'm not sure about Dark Brandon.
What is this? Left camp meme. What isn't a meme, though, is Vice News is about to file bankruptcy. Bald, bearded guy laugh right after BuzzFeed. Tough time for the left lately. My advice, do what your parents say. Get a job, sir. I am still here. Oh, cool. I'll play it again then. Also, you do know I have a job, right? Like, oh, no, wait. There we go. Now I have to.
I'm going to be fine with your jokes, but I'm not sure about Dark Brandon.
That's what I have to say to you. Anyway. Stone think that, let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, here we go. While those 2 other bans remain in effect, the decision doesn't have a practical impact, she says, in terms of allowing doctors to intervene earlier. Providing abortions when someone's life is in danger, but they are not yet in crisis. What happened to Jackie could be. Oh wait, I read that already. Fuck. Stone thinks that strict emergency, exception language in Oklahoma's abortion laws is probably why doctors at Oklahoma University Health felt they could not provide an abortion procedure until Jackie became sicker, which is just a horrible thing to tell someone. She says, "We would never tell someone with a heart attack, it might not be that bad. It might not be that bad. Come back when you're really in bad trouble." Yeah, seriously. Also, equalizing. You do know that Dark Brandon is a right wing meme, right? Like that was conservatives who came up with that. Funny, it's hilarious, but we did not create that meme. Sad to say. An obligation to act. Doctors are bound not only by state law but also by federal law. That includes the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, or EMTLA, which requires the patients be stabilized in an emergency. On Monday, the Federal Department of Health and Human Services announced investigations into 2 hospitals that denied an abortion to a patient whose water broke at 18 weeks pregnant and was at risk of an infection. Physicians also have professional. You know what's crazy too? You know what's honest to God crazy? Is we've kind of already adjudicated this, haven't we? We already had Roe v. Wade in place. We already had standards for when abortion was not an option for people. I believe it's 20 at the 26-week mark. You were unable to get an abortion unless it was a emergency that would lead to the death of at least one of the parties. But the crazy thing is we're going to go through all of this, right? The Health and Human Services are going to look into these hospitals not providing care until the absolute last minute. It's going to get, we're going to have like legal challenges along with everything else. And we're going to come to the determination at the end of all of this that, hey, we need to set a reasonable threshold on abortion and when it can and when it cannot be used. And it will have rendered this entire Roe v. Wade anti-abortion wave since, when was that, 2022, when they struck down Roe v. Wade, fucking useless. It'll make all of this useless because we're gonna now have to go in and basically manually set each and every boundary. Before, when we had Roe v. Wade, there was a general understanding of after 26 weeks, unless there is danger to the mother, or in some kind of any of those kinds of medical emergency cases, you wouldn't be able to get an abortion. That would be kind of the cutoff. And before that, there would be, if you just didn't want to have that baby, that's all yours. If you were a victim of rape or incest, that was also your way of getting out of it. We already had a really easy and I think easily applicable way of setting these boundaries. But now we're gonna have to go in and piecemeal each little scenario to basically get what we already had. Because we're gonna come to the same basic consensus that after 26 weeks, once the children are viable, that's when we're gonna go, okay, that's the cutoff. And there's gonna be all this rigmarole and legal, fucking hoops and everything else, again, just to get back to where we were before Roe v. Wade got overturned. And it just renders all of it a huge fucking waste of time, except for people who are anti-abortion, who get to have their party for a bit at the expense of millions of other people. Let's see. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Nice lie. The right-wing meme was dark Trump. Okay. Keep telling yourself that, bud. Then the left appropriated to make him sound cool. Well, Dark Brandon is way cooler than Dark Trump. Sucks and nobody likes him, so the idea of him being space guy is what's humorous. Is it? Is it that humorous? It's really just a guy. I don't really okay. You seem very triggered by Dark Brandon. Also, the Brandon part's like the whole let's go Brandon bit, right? Like we understand that, right? Anyway, physicians also have professional ethical obligations not to harm patients. Some ethicists, yeah, I read that right, have argued that even when state laws provide very narrow or confusing abortion exceptions, if a patient is in danger, doctors have an ethical obligation to act. So Stone says that it says that is a hard thing to ask of physicians. Quote, you have studied for years, you've trained through specialty training, you have an established practice, you have obligations to your family. It's hard to say. I'm going to put all that on the line and possibly go to jail and possibly get sued by her family for doing the right thing. Not only that, but she mentions, you have obligations to your family and to your practice and all of those patients that you're probably serving. If you no longer are able to practice medicine because somebody reports you for delivering proper health care to somebody, how many people now don't have access to a doctor? It's fucking, and how many people trusted you? It's just so fucking it just completely fucks over so many people for basically no reason. Let's see. It's just a guy. The meme understander has logged on. What is this? Business Insider. Explain far right memes calling for Trump revenge 2020. Yeah, I'm not reading that. The date of the article predates your dark branding crap. Well, my dark branding crap didn't. This is the first time I've even used dark branding on the show. Here, I'll do this again. Since this seemed to really bug you. And I like antagonizing.
Jokes, but I'm not sure about dark branding.
If only I had sunglasses. Fuck, do I have sunglasses in here? I don't think I do. It's unfortunate. Also, you're going really far for like a meme. I don't know if you know this, but I don't really care. Hospitals also don't seem to know how to navigate these laws. The Oklahoma State Board of Medical Licensure provided guidance in September for doctors in the state for how to navigate the abortion bans, but declined NPR's interview request, citing ongoing litigation. The state legislature has considered new exceptions to the abortion ban, and more court challenges are underway. Stone says some groups are trying to organize a voter petition to change the abortion laws in Oklahoma, but she does not think significant changes to the state's abortion laws are coming soon. Quote, already the United States has one of the highest maternal mortality rates. What is the mortality? Maternal deaths spike 2021. Jesus. Total. Oh, no, I don't want that. Can I get a. Okay. I want a comparison of other countries. Let's see. According to the data from WHO, the maternal mortality rate in high income nations overall was 12 per 100,000 live births in 2021, while in low income countries it was 430 per 100,000. International comparisons of maternal deaths are different because of wait, what is ours at then? Oh damn. Let's see. The report found that 1,205 people died of maternal causes in the US in 2021. That represents a 40% increase from the previous year. Oh geez. Take place during pregnancy or within 42 days following delivery. Oh wow. The US rate is 39.2 or 32.9. I'm stupid. Sorry. Actually, I have dysgraphia. Okay, so for most countries it's 12. For us it's double? Actually, kind of more than double. Well, no, a lot more than double. What is that? Just a little bit less than triple? 32.9 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, which is more than 10 times the estimated rates of some higher income. Jesus. Including Australia. I don't think I can do an Austrian accent. Can I do it? What does an Austrian accent sound like? I feel like it's just German, but not German. I don't think I know can I do an Israeli? Is there an accent for Israel? I feel like it's just sound like Gal Gadot. And then there's Japan and Spain, which all hovered between 2 and 3. Okay, cool. I mean, doing Australian's hard. Australia is a hard accent to do. You know what else is? Fucking Irish. Irish is super hard to fucking do. I can like get off the first couple of words, and it's just so complicated to remember to like. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. Anyway, let's see. Read that. Okay, when you're wrong. So like, calling other people triggered a man. None the truth. That'd be like if I insisted you're a healthy, fit, heterosexual male. Well, luckily I am. So there's also that. By the way, I'll be back to harass you later. Oh, okay, cool. Go take a shit. Have fun. Wait, why are you going to go take a shit? Just watch this on your phone. Duh. Let's see. This needs to change. 7 weeks after her ordeal, Jackie Stanton is still recovering. She will have to keep having her HCG levels checked for weeks, maybe as long as 6 months, to make sure no cancer is developing. Physically, she still feels weak and tired, and mentally it's been rough, she says. So at the age of 25, when she has her IUD removed, she's decided to get a tubal ligation this month. I don't think mentally I would be okay if I were to get pregnant again. Wow. She says she is pro-life, but she's decided to speak publicly about her experience because she doesn't want anyone else to have to go through it. I think something needs to be done about the state abortion law, she says. I don't know how else to get attention, but this needs to change. Crazy that, I said this in the beginning. I was like, ooh, this person might not even be pro-life, but they actually are. They are pro-life, and now probably not going to say they're pro-choice, but that's probably because they don't actually understand the pro-choice position. They've been told that the pro-choice position is the pro-abortion position, which it's not. It's just the, hey, this is just kind of, this is kind of how we have the most amount of freedom for the most amount of people. Okay. So we need to, the thing that they tell, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to